But now, moving on, let's look at the squad now. Is this squad any better? Because these, final 2 games we are playing, we need to win. And there have been some changes in the squad as well, and same, no depth in midfield and stuff like that. So are these players, looking at the squad that Chelle have put out now? So is this something that is better than what we have before? Yeah, he's definitely going to put that. So the goalkeeping position remains the same. Stanley Wabali, Adeleye as well, and Amas Obasoge, the regular goalkeepers who has been called upon now for this squad. Now look at that midfield again, where a lot of people felt this is where it should be needed. Now just Alex Iwobi, Ndidi, Onyeka, Alassane Yusuf. Those are the 4 midfielders called upon. A lot of talk about creativities and stuff like that. Some changes have been made to this squad. 2 forced changes, injuries. No Chris Antisuche initially, who just joined Crystal Palace, still finding his feet, and now he's been drafted into the squad. Zaidu Sanusi also makes a return to the squad. Before we go into the attacking position, now what these 2 changes has made is that Bright Osai Samuel is the other injured player who makes way for Zaidu Sanusi. So as it stands, there's no natural right back in that squad because Olaina is injured.
Yeah.
Bright also has pulled out injured. I don't know how Chelle is going to handle that right back situation for the Super Eagles, because that's one deficiency I'm looking at in that squad. So is this squad any better? I mean, no Olaina, no key player, no Bright or Saisam. So are we any better to get the job done against these 2 teams we'll be playing against?
The thing with coaching a national team is that you are fighting a wrestling match with one arm tied behind your back. At club level, you have the players that you have 35 players and academy players and under 20 players, but you can still go to the market within a space of 2 windows, the summer and the winter window, and reinforce. You can reinforce from 5 to 10, 15, as we've seen with different teams across Europe and even in Nigerian league. But with the national team, you would only be able to get players who have your country's passport and are willing to play for your country. So when you look at the midfield deficiency, we've been talking about this for almost 10 years now, or let's say the better part of the last 5 years consistently. And I've not changed my position that there is no problem with the Super Eagles attack. It's just that the midfield is deficient and we don't have ball passers. We don't have creative players in the midfield. The coach is not going to manufacture this. The coach would sit and look at the players he's got. One, this is not the time to gamble. Finidi gambled, and I've seen a lot of comment attributed to Kocha on Facebook, only on typing, but I've not seen a video to it, so I take it with a pinch of salt. And I've seen a lot of bashing of Finidi George that he puts us in this place. And I'm feeling like these people are already preparing the excuse for our failure to qualify for the World Cup, and not even putting the blame on the NFF or the sports ministry or the government or anybody but just Finidi George, which is our way anyway. We easily throw our own under the bus. Having said that, I'm not going to be able to say whether if we had more creative players now, the coach will call them. I mean, bringing in too many new players can also alter your system and then become the alibi for your failure that, we brought in new players. I think that if the players are well rotated, I would take the gamble of saying, Alex, play the free role behind the striker and let's see what happens. Alex is not a long ranger, but let me give him the credit that he deserves. He's a good shot passer. Not really impressed me big time with the Super Eagles, but he's a good shot passer. So if what I need, what is lacking in my team is goals to win games, and the only creative player I have is Alex, apart from the Moses Simon, the white guys, Ademola Lookman and the rest who are white players, what I would do is do everything to get Alex Iwobi closer to the striker, be it Osimhen, be it Teremorphy, be it Desas, Tolu Arokodare is in the squad, right? Tolu Arokodare, be as close to him as possible, being that he's not a great crosser of the ball, a long ranger like Xabi Alonso or all these guys who whip long passes. I'll put him close enough to the top 3 guys there and just behind the striker, so that those true passes that people always attribute to him, that claim that he always give, maybe if you give 10, we'll score 2 or 3. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think that on any given day, Lesotho have the players that can outrun our players. But, that can outplay our players. But the problem with the Super Eagles, if you notice, is that when they come to the national team, I've said this before, that one, they don't like each other. They don't play for each other. When push comes to shove, the opposition of every team we've played, apart from maybe Rwanda, they've covered more blade of grasses than our team. Therein lies the difference between us and every opponent we've played. South Africa would be looking at themselves and say they were foolish to lose to Nigeria. They ran more than us. A game where a 19-year-old boy was the man of the match. I'm not trying to say that a 19-year-old boy cannot be man of the match, because if Lamine Yamal does it or Miles Lewis Kelly does it, we hail them in Europe. So we should also celebrate it when it happens in Africa. But you look at this carefully and you say to yourself, these guys run more than us. These guys chase the ball more than us. These guys, wants it more than us. Our star player, star power might come in, but like Liverpool, I've always said this, and this has nothing to do with Liverpool, but I hate a life where you live on luck, because my mom used to say living on luck is a gamble that is not worth it, because the thing with living on luck is that you don't know when your luck will run out. But if you live on a plan, you have a counter plan in case things go sideways on the left or on the right, and you know what to bring in. That's the difference. So when you look at Nigeria like Liverpool of this season, they were winning 4-2 3-2 there, beat Arsenal 1-0, but you could tell that this team is not clicking. If somebody stand up face to face to them, something will go sideways. And I mean, last week here they welcomed you to the L side of life, and since then it's been 3 defeats in all competition. That's where the Super Eagles are. They don't win a game and you say, okay, they are back. I cannot remember the last time the Super Eagles of Nigeria won 3 consecutive games. I'm not talking drawing between like we had in the AFCON. 3 consecutive games, because people will jump in and say, what of the AFCON last time out? We know how the games were. There were not 3 straight 90 minutes victories, but we'll take whatever, for as long as they give us a silver medal that gets the president welcoming and honoring people. So when you look at that, you can say to yourself, even 2 consecutive games is hard. So you look at these qualifiers and say, man, this might be a problem. I want the Super Eagles to go to the World Cup. When in 2023 I made that post, I didn't even say they will not qualify. I said this might be the hardest. That warning have been fulfilled already. This is the hardest qualifiers we've had. It's just not going anywhere. Every minute we are banking on hope now, because 3 points were deducted from South Africa after the politics kept it waiting. Let's wait to the last place where you have 2 games to play at home, where your destiny is still in your hand, and then we'll take that 3 points and see if they're taking it at the early stage. We know how the complexion of the group would have changed now. That again is another excuse that we cannot bank on. Oh, this is the reason why we didn't qualify for the World Cup. But we didn't do our own homework well, and not doing our homework well is the problem. You look at that squad and you say, on any given day, that squad should be able to come together and win you a game. But that's on paper. Football is played on grass with 2 teams who have to run. The one who run more, the one who control the tempo of the game more, the one who hold the ball more, the one who take their chances the most are the ones who are going to win. Can the Super Eagles run more than Lesotho and Benin Republic over 2 legs? Can the Super Eagles create more chances than Lesotho over and Benin Republic over 2 legs? Can the Super Eagles convert the chances created against Lesotho and Zimbabwe and defend in such a way that they don't concede more than they score? And again, this is not one of those games where you go and draw and you feel comfortable that there's still more games to be played. You draw, and the result, the 90 minutes in Benin Republic's game and South African game already changed the dive for you. Don't also forget that all these ones that we're talking, South Africa, Benin Republic, who are currently top of the group with 2 games to go, have not played a single game in Benin Republic.
Yeah.
So
played the whole game.
If you talk about things being hard, they are the ones that things are most hard for. But somehow, as at today, they can still end the group in 3rd position. But as at today, credit to the man that we fired, that Nigerian said was holding the Super Eagles back, that was not letting Alex Iwobi create, that was not letting Moses Simon cross the ball, that was putting chain on their waist like a dog and holding them back like a leech and saying they cannot go forward, is raised a team that is doing well, playing, defending very well, and also scoring enough goals to put them on top of the group. Ask me who I think should go to the World Cup. I think Benin Republic should go to the World Cup. Togo did it with Stephen Keshi in 2006, if I'm not mistaken. Benin Republic should go. With all the hardship, the difficulties they face, they are able to do this, they should go. But then Nigeria is my country. I somehow, selfishly,
want them to
not
go.
because we deserve it from what we've played, selfishly just want us to go. But again, that's another thing of saying that incompetence should thrive because it's your country. Nepotism, right? So for me, I'm sitting here, I'm saying that if Eric Chelle cannot get the 6 points with the boys that he's got, the list that is released, It's on him and the NFF and the players, most especially the players. I think that the players got us here. I'm not going to sit here and blame any coach. Whether it's Eric Chelle, whether it's Jose Pesero, whether it's Iguavon didn't do World Cup qualifiers, whether it's Finidi, it's the players that got us here.
You know, I know we talk about creativity in the squad. Crisanto Uche wasn't called initially. He's now the replacement for Cyril Desses. Now, I mean, he's one player we struggle to find his real position because sometimes he plays as a midfielder, plays as a striker. But do you think the squad misses Kelechi Iheanacho? I mean, this is just a question off the top of my head. Now, I mean, what was it with players going back to play under their former manager who they had good time with and they pick up that good form once again? 3 goals, 1 assist, just 6 games into the, I know it's the Scottish Premiership, but it seems like he's finding his feet again. So is it one player the team is missing when it comes to creativity with that Super Eagles squad?
You know that Kelechi Iheanacho, there's this thing I always say about him. I think he's the player with the most educated. It's a phrase that myself and Murphy coined in our Brilla days. The most educated left-footed player. You cannot. I don't know how much you dislike him or hate him or disregard him. You can't question his talent. The question now is, does he have the hard work, the work rate to match that talent? Again, knowing fully well, I don't judge any Nigerian player by their club form. Apart from Osimhen, every other Nigerian player, if they are giving 150% at their club, they only come here and give 25%.
But is that form that people look at and, you know, get called up to the national team?
Yes.
Though in some cases it doesn't work because Paulo Nacho now is banging goals in Turkey, but it's still not with the squad as well. So
no. Paulo Nacho's case is we've talked about this more than enough time. People can go to
I just had to reference that.
Yeah, but I'm saying for Kelechi as an individual, you look at Kelechi and you say, what's the difference between this guy and Kanu Nwankwo? There is a small part of me that is tempted to say the taboo word that I think that talent-wise, this guy is just as talented, if not a little bit more talented than Kanu Nwankwo. But you know that's me committing suicide. That's something you say in your bedroom and you don't say in public, right? But that is it. But the difference between Kanu Nwankwo and Kelechi Iheanacho is that Kanu Nwankwo will deliver when it matters. Would show you that I can rub it with the grain. I can, go there and, slime my way, wriggle my way through and get it done. And then he played for big clubs. He played for Ajax, won the Champions League, played for Inter Milan, won the UEFA Cup, even though he made only a couple of appearances, cameo appearances. Played for Arsenal, won the league, won the FA Cup. Went to a dead Portsmouth. A dead, debt-ridden, non-salary paying Portsmouth, not bonuses paying Portsmouth, and won the FA Cup with them. You now look at that. Talent, almost equal or even better in terms of Kelechi, but work rate, productivity, that's where the problem is. Kelechi does not have it. Performing well with his former coach who understands him, who know how to use him. Would you be playing with the same coach in the national team? No. So I've also seen, I've spoken to coaches that have coached the national team that have worked with Kelechi and said things about it. I don't want to use it here now before they are misrepresented. But to be very honest, I think the only things that stood between Kelechi since 2013 and now, to be the greatest of his generation or the best of his generation, not greatest, the best of his generation is the hard work, the consistency. You know how I used to tell you this, that most Nigerian players play from a position of poverty, and once their current earning cap puts them in a place where a player told me before at the airport that you should not be telling me anything about football. I'm richer than your governor. Even your governor, the governor of your state cannot talk to me like this. I was like, okay, no problem. The player ended up nowhere in the map of football. It's richer than all the governors that I've had anyway. They cannot boast of the money that they earn it by working or producing any business. They stole it, they siphoned it. But let's leave that one like that. But that guy have wasted his talent, right? And I've heard many other players say that kind of thing. Nobody should give me advice. Nobody should tell me anything. Well, some have the productivity on the field to show for it, but some, when they say those things and you're looking at their performance, you're like, Oga, you shouldn't have this arrogance in the face of this performance. Or the ones who told us that if it's easy, make Oyibo sign us. We'll see them and we'll see like, Oga, you shouldn't even be saying this thing, because even if God sign you right now, you're still the worst of your kind. It's as simple as that. I think that if we make a case for Kelechi Iheanacho, based on his talent, is the right thing, but also based on current form. But we also remember his antecedent with the national team, and you say to yourself, anybody making that case is doing PR. I mean, it will be just for anybody out there in the comment section to say, oh, if they don't give you money. I can't make a case for Kelechi Iheanacho. I'm sorry. Highly talented, no argument about it, but I think he's lazy. That's the word that describes him. That's what majority of the coaches who's worked with him have used to this. He's lazy. And that laziness is the thing that has made a great talent. A talent as high, as massive as Mountain Everest look like a piece of pebble.
All right, deciding times for the Super Eagles. That game against Lesotho and Benin Republic. Once again, to remind you, Friday 5 p.m. and also on Tuesday 5 p.m. Happy with the new call-ups in the squad. I mean, you always want to get excited if you're called up for the first time in this squad, but would you want to be called at this time where the pressure is on, and be part of the downfall if it happens and they fail to qualify?
But the good thing is, if they call you up now, and the team fails, nobody's going to blame you. What will happen is, I know that if we fail to qualify for the World Cup and probably go to AFCON and get knocked out in group stage, I don't pray for that. They will use the famous Nigerian word, disband the team. When that team is disbanded, the good thing is all this new call-up, all the Crisanto Suchi, Aroko Dare, they will become the people that will lead the next generation of the Super Eagles.
Yeah, Ako Adams, so is one of the new players. I mean, he tore Barcelona apart over the weekend, scored the final goal for Sevilla in that 4-1 win. So he's been called up before, he's made the provisional list, but this time he's with the main team. Hopefully he gets an appearance. There's also Olakunle Olusegun, who I think, if given the chance, might fill in that right back position because he's played there for his club in Russia. So we keep our fingers crossed. Super Eagles, will it be Benin Republic? Will it be Nigeria? Will it be South Africa who tops the group at the end of the day?